all my people know, attitude reflects leadership. And, even when coming in, came over, switching from education here, and I'll never forget the first time Nella was like, hey, yeah, so you interested in it? And I was like, ew, no. No, ma'am. I appreciate you. However, I'm not ready for all that. And I have not done this enough. And, but just even with that, I do take what I do. So, with so much, not pride, I don't want to say pride, but I'm integrity. Like everything I do, I want to have integrity. I do not lie. I'm very authentic, very transparent. And even with that, I am a leader that likes to raise leaders. I love, autonomy. You go be your best you, and that's cool. And if that's listen, that's about you. It doesn't even matter. You got to show up in the world. Like when you said, talking about being in a room. Even with my athletes, I used to always say, listen, it's 4 walls and a floor. It doesn't matter where you are, it's who you are.
That's it.
And you got to be you no matter where you go.
That's it.
And that is one thing I used to always say. If I was in the courtroom, if I was coaching your kid, but I said, I'm going to be me. I'm always me.
Oh, wow.
And even coming into mental health, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to be me, because sometimes me is a little much.
No, we love that.
But
that's what makes you you.
And it's taken me a long time to get here. And I will say the fact that we are in this practice with everybody and they are them, and we celebrate everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's so strong. And especially, with females, there's so much attack on, there's just a lot going on. And, it is just a delight to be able to,
I just shared with one of my clients today, we were working on self-development, and I shared that. I said, listen, I've learned I don't have to be the loudest person in the room, but if I want to be, I can.
Ooh,
right? I like it. And I've learned that, hey, silence is a statement, because I always thought that if I'm not, heard, then I'm not seen. But that is so not true, right? Mm-hmm. I can be silent. I can be in the back of the room and still have power.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of the saying, confidence is silent, is quiet. Confidence is quiet. Insecurity is loud.
Ooh, I like that.
It's true. I've heard that, and that's true. So the most insecure people are the loudest, are the ones that have to hear themselves, are the ones that always just have to make a statement. And then the more confident ones, you gain more by sitting back and listening.
That's true. And I'll admit this. There was a time where I was insecure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right? Yeah. I think we all.
And there are times where sometimes we still feel those insecurities, but we still have to just lean back and just really refocus, right? And say, okay, who am I? And then answer the questions, who are you? You know what I mean? So there are times the more elevation. With elevation, sometimes there's some insecurity or some, you got to work on, another level of confidence, but just knowing who you are. And that takes a lot of work. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not an overnight thing. It takes a while. It's a process to develop yourself.
Well, and even with that, wouldn't you say it's never ending?
It never ends. Every day I'm learning to be a better version of myself. I will never say I am the best version of me. Because as long as I'm living, there's always going to be something that I want to be involved in. Mm-hmm. I always want to be, elevate, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm always working on being the better version of myself every day. So
and
you're right.
That's what
changes.
Makes you a good human being. And I think that's what makes you a strong person, a strong leader, which is what I saw in you, is because if you are working towards just being a better you, you're not trying to be anybody else. Right. You're not trying to be better than anybody else. You're just trying to be a better you so that you can impact more people, so that you can just show up better for everyone around you.
Right. Absolutely.
So funny you should mention that. My last session, it's not funny. Here we go. That's exactly what we're talking about. And it was this. I said, listen, honey, you're so busy living right now. She goes, surviving. I said, not anymore. I said, you were in survival mode. I said, but you were also in training. Because, athletes, we always say, championships are won in the off season. Mm-hmm. And that's what he said. And I was like, ooh, 24. I said, we were training. My gosh, so many things. We're all just like, come on, enough of the labor pains already showing the baby. And so that's what I said. I said, because when you know that you are on the right path and you are doing the work, you don't know what it looks like, but you just know this makes sense. you're so busy living, the blessings just come.
Yep.
Because you are always in the right spot that you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And that's that, opportunity and preparedness. That's where it is.
Yep.
And it doesn't ever stop,